Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Mommyana podcast. Today, I am proudly joined with a couple of my friends of mine from the Urban Leadership Foundation. We're the 2023 cohort, and we like to call ourselves the 5 a.m. crew, really because we have a group chat where we try to wake up at 5 a.m. each day, where we try to.
Right.
And we like to just wish each other well each day or each morning. And we also share lots of laughs, random laughs, and support each other through our different goals. So it's a true sisterhood over here. I'm grateful for each of these links and connections that we've all built with each other. But that's basically how today's topic came to fruition. And so I'm just going to give everyone a chance to introduce themselves. If you could just say your name, what you do for work, and if you're a mom, how many kids you have and their ages. So Dedra, you can go first.
Hi, I'm Dedra. I work in human resources, which is always fun and interesting. I have 0 children, but 1 cat. Her name is Susie, and she is turning 5 years old this week.
Hey everyone, my name is Endiya McDaniel, and I am a program coordinator for a nonprofit in Denver. And I have one amazing 11-year-old son. He's starting 6th grade here in just a couple days.
Oh, hi, I'm Shaquae. I'm an account administrator for Kaiser Permanente. I am a mother of 4 boys. My oldest will be 19 next month. I have a 15-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And Dedra forgot to mention the 7 and 6-year-old are actually her kids, but
I'll send that check this week. I'll send my check this week. I swear.
That's sweet. Hey, everybody. My name is Whitney, and I work for the Division of Housing as a program manager. And I am a mom. I have a little girl who is 4. She'll be 5 in January and on her way to preschool.
Woo! Fun.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for introducing yourself, ladies. So today's topic is called Daps or kisses. I think some women are really affectionate and others not so much, but I think a lot of it really has to do with our upbringing as a child. So today we're just going to take a deep dive into affection and share a little bit more about ourselves and how we like to display affection in our intimate relationships as well as our friendships. So my first question is, what does affection mean to you? And Dedra, go ahead and
I'll go. So I'm one of those people, physical touch, love language. That's how I show affection. If I'm talking to you, I'm probably going to touch you, pat you, something like that. And that's just generally who I am. In relationships, the more I get to know you, the more physically affectionate I am, whether that be hugs, daps, anything of the above, just physical contact. Once I gain trust or love and affection with you, it's definitely a physical thing. And in romantic relationships, intimacy is super important to me. Like if we don't hug, kiss, something, like when we first see each other, I'm naturally going to think something's wrong. Something's messed up. You know what I mean? And I think sex is also important for me too, like to show that affection. But also I can take affection in terms of you doing nice things for me, surprising me with gifts. So I date women. So, and I tend to be the more masculine one in the relationship. So I think it comes off like I should be the one always giving the affection, but I also want to receive it too.
Nice. I feel that. I'll go next real quick and I'll let you go, Endiya. I think to me, like affection means, when I think of that, I think of like gentleness, kind words and touching and feeling. But I think, affection definitely exists like outside of romantic relationships. You could be affectionate with your child, with your siblings, parents, friends, and family members too. So that's what it kind of means to me.
Yeah, so for me, affection is physical, but it can also be kind of showing acts of kindness. So for example, I pop up on my husband when he's at work, not expecting it. And I take him like his favorite candy or something like that, just to try to, let him know that I'm thinking about him. But, also the physical touch is super important. So hugging and cuddling and, really knowing your partner's, their buttons and what your partner likes and what they want. I think that is in itself being an affectionate person and an affectionate friend, because if you know that you have a friend who's like, hey, I don't necessarily want to be hugged all the time, and respecting that boundary and coming up with a different way to greet them, I think that shows a level of affection and a friendship as well.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I do agree. I think affection kind of depends on the person and the circumstances. So I don't think there's really like one set way to define affection, because affection can be kisses or affection can be that. Like it could be whatever it is, but it also can be like the two ladies mentioned before. It could be just acts of service, doing something kind for the person you love. I mean, it's so broad that it's really kind of hard to narrow down what affection. But I guess if I would have to say, for me, it would just be more of the physical part, physical touch, and doing nice and kind things, and really your words too. You could be affectionate through your words. So I would say that would be my definition of affection.
Nice.
Awesome. I agree with all of you guys. I think affection could be physical, and then it could be just how you show up. So like all of you are saying, like the different love languages, touch, words of affirmation, I don't know what else, quality time, all of that stuff. Like, those are all ways. Gifts. Some people like gifts, and that could be a way you show affection to another person, is by buying them their favorite candy bar, or showing them whatever, whatever it is. I think I agree with you all. And Shaquae, when you say it depends on the person and the circumstance, for sure. And you're like where you are in life. Because I feel like back in the day, like it makes me think of Leah when you say like how we were raised. Like I was raised with like affectionate people, always hugging everywhere. Like, we always got a hug. But now that I have a kid, I'm like, don't touch me. Like, I don't know, it changed. Like, I'm much different than, when I didn't have a kid. So that's my
I would agree with that too, because I was raised in a super affectionate family too. Like my mom and my brother are super like touchy feely like people, and I'm just not like that. But I think for me, it has to do more so like with my dad, and we won't dive deep into that today. But like for me, I struggle with really expressing affection more so towards men than anything. But I think because I didn't really have that growing up, so I think that's kind of that's rooted in, because I'm very affectionate with my daughter and with my mom too. But with men, I kind of struggle in that area. So I think that could be why. But yeah. Okay, my next question is, how do you typically show affection in your intimate relationships and with your friends?
Yeah, I think for me, it varies on who I'm dating. So I tend to date people that are very opposite of me when it comes to how they like to have affection. And I have to learn, it comes in, Endiya talked about it, respecting people's boundaries. And I date people that need physical touch less than me, but they need compliments. They need date nights. They need acts of service. Me cleaning up after myself in the bathroom, because I don't care about a messy house, but they do. Those are our affection. And also words of affirmation, sending the nice text message when they go to work, hope you have a great day. You're smart, beautiful, love you, helping them, encouraging them. And I do that for intimate relationships, friendships too. And if I date someone, or if I'm with someone that is super affectionate, cuddly, all hugged up, all up in my space, I love that shit. That's all for me. Like when you guys talk about your kids, I love when little kids just want to be up on you, and that bothers people. But I'm like, give me your kid that wants to do that, and they can be all up over me. Like, yes, that is the fun time. But it's also with kids, and talking about how you were raised and stuff. And and varying. Like when I met Shaquae's kids, I asked them if they wanted a hug because I used to hate being forced to hug people when I was a kid, you know. And even though I'm an affectionate person, it was just weird. So like try to respect the kid's boundary. Like if you don't know me because I'm a stranger and you don't want to hug me, cool. But otherwise, you know, give me this hug and I love it too. So
I think that's important too, like asking before you just go straight in for it, you know, respect them boundaries. I would say for me,
yes.
I would say I typically show affection through kind words, positivity, and just showing up for those that I really care for, just being there for them when I need them. And then I would also say, like, so I would say quality time is definitely my love language along with gifts. I like gifting things to people, not necessarily that I look for it in return, but I like gifting people, whether it's like, you know, so their birthday or Christmas or, you know, like I'm just booking a trip, like surprise. You know, I love surprises or surprising other people, I guess. I don't think I've ever been surprised like that. But yeah, and I appreciate like spending time with my friends and my family. I think I'm typically the one between my group of friends and my family who's like arranging meetups, like, oh, we should do this. Let's get together and do that. Like, I just like chilling with the homies and with people I care and love about. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I agree with what both of you are saying, Dedra, especially when you said kind of really respecting those boundaries and finding that halfway point. So with me, I am not like a touchy feely person, and I'm like, I don't want you up on me unless I really want that. Like it has to be a very specific time and we can cuddle. But other than that, I'm like, don't follow me around the house. Like sometimes I want to be in my own room, right? But you know, in return, I know that my husband sometimes does need that affection from me and that attention from me. So I do try to find that balance to kind of respect my feelings, but as well as like showing him, you know, I'm here for you and I love you. So one thing that we really enjoy doing is just wrestling with each other. So it's not like I'll like walk up and slap his ass and, you know, try to push him on the bed, and then we'll be like full blown wrestling. And sometimes to something else, and you know, sometimes it won't, right? But you know, that's what we like to do, and it's still being physical with each other, and it's just kind of our way of, you know, being affectionate in a physical way, but also just having fun with each other is huge, because at the end of the day, like that's my best friend, and if I can't have fun with you and laugh and joke with you, then we can't do anything else together. So that is super important, is enjoying each other's time together and just having fun and, you know, just kind of being a release for each other. You know, life is way too hard and way too serious on the outside of our home. So this really safe space for us to be, you know, who we are. And when it comes to like friendships, it's a little tricky for me because I am kind of a hermit and I find myself kind of reclused, and I'm gonna just chill in my room, and I'll be cool if I don't hear from my friends for 2 months, and you know, everything. But I have been actively trying to be more present in my friendships and other relationships. So I have started sending those text messages just to my friend group, like, "Hey, good morning. I hope you have a great day." And I have noticed that, you know, even in their responses to me, it makes a huge difference. And now that I am, you know, initiating those conversations and asking how their day is going, or sending those words of affirmation, or, you know, even one of my friends, she was telling me she was having a stressful week, and I, you know, sent her some bath bombs that I found at King Supers. So just listening, I guess, and then just trying to take cues from people, especially in my friend group. I'm trying to just kind of be more present.
I like how you mentioned that, because I feel like friendships, they're like one in the same almost. They're like plants.
Absolutely.
So if you don't water them, then they die. So like if you don't communicate, I guess I'm the type of person, if I don't hear from you for a while, not that we need to talk every day. I do have friends that I do talk to every single day, but if I don't hear from you for a while, I'm gonna be thinking like, are you good? Like, are you mad at me? Is everything cool? You know, like I like to check in. You never know what someone's going through either, you know? So it's nice to keep the lines of communication open, because I don't know, friendships are just super important. So are relationships. So.
I do agree. Friendships are extremely important. I will say I'm the friend that I kind of do both, because I'm the friend that's going to check in on you. I'm going to text you, hey, are you good? Just if if it's your birthdays, I remember important dates and things like that. So I'm that friend. I'm not the friend that's going to like plan for everybody to get together. I'm horrible at planning things, but if you plan something, I'll be there. I'm going to be late, but I will be there. So that's me. Like, I'm that friend. But I'm also the friend that will go MIA. Like, I will go and I'll just be in my own zone, my own bubble. And sometimes people take that the wrong way. Like, even people that I've been friends with for years, they'll all of a sudden be like, I'll go into my, like, I just need to like take some time away. And they'll be like, oh, you're acting funny, you're acting weird, things like that. And I'm like, no, but I'm not. I've been doing this for years. Like, I just like to take time for me. Like, I have to just take a step back and take time for me. So it's important for me to have friends that understand that I do that. I'm not mad at you. I'm not acting funny. I'm not even going through anything, honestly. Like, I just need a moment to just to not people. So I need people in my life to understand that about me. So that's important for me. And then I understand that. So I don't get upset. Like, if I have a friend that goes MIA, like, I'll check on you. Are you good? Okay, you're good. All right. Well, if you need anything. And then I don't take offense to, like, if I don't talk to you for a week or two or nothing like that, because I understand I'm the same way. So I'm like that. Another thing I realized about myself is that I'm better at giving affection than I am at receiving it. So I can give affection, but then like when people give it to me, I'm like, okay, like, all right, thank you. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you give me a gift, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, thank you. I don't like to be the spotlight. I don't like to be the center of attention. Like, I don't like to receive any of it. Like, I'm just like, okay, thanks. But I can give it to you. Like, I can give you gifts. I can give you compliments. I can do all of that in romantic relationships. Same way. Like, I don't have a problem giving you a hug. But then it's like when you start hugging on me too much, then I'm like, well, wait a minute now. I was just trying to give you a little hug. Now you hugging and kissing on me, like, back up a little bit. So I'm probably confusing. Like, wait a minute. Like, what's going on? Do you want me to hug you or no? I want to hug you, but I don't want you to hug me back. Does that make sense? No? Okay, I understand. But that's me. Like, that's just how I am. So I can give it. I can, like I said, I can hug, I can kiss, I can do all of that. I like to give gifts. I do like for people to plan dates for me, though. I'm okay with that because that doesn't require you touching me, just taking me on a date. So I'm okay with that. And yeah, I agree with everything else that you guys were saying as well. So yeah.
I can like definitely relate to the like being more of a giver than a receiver too, because I could get kind of awkward too. Like, I'm not gonna hug you first, but I don't know. Well, I guess that's kind of backwards from what you were saying. Like, if someone hugs me, I will hug them back, but I'm not gonna extend a hug. But other things like, I will reach out first. I will get you a gift. I will give a compliment. But then when it comes back to me, I could be a little awkward. I don't know why that is.
Me either. I don't know what it is either, but it's awkward for me. Like, I can give it, but getting it back is like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm a hugger, though. I am a hugger.
Mhm.
I like my friends and romantic relationships. I'm a hugger, but I like to give the hugs.
Yeah. Like,
It
don't hug
makes
me.
no sense. I know.
That's
See, I want affection and I want hugs, but I get awkward too. It's like I have this moment of like, why are you doing this? Versus like my intentions are good when I do it. Why don't I believe other people's intentions are good when they do it? You know?
Yep. Exactly.
yeah. Interesting. What about you, Whitney?
This is funny. You guys have me cracking up. It's funny because I see like a lot of different love languages in you guys, and I could probably take a guess at like what each of your love languages are. And I also thought like Dedra, because we're both Virgos, we would be very similar, but we're like opposite when it comes to like the affection and love language piece. I'm really closely like related to Shaquae and Endiya. Really, Shaquae, I'd be like, oh, I'll give you a hug, but don't do too much. Like, don't start rubbing on my back. But anyway.
Not the lower back rub too. You know what I mean? Like just that too much back touching. Oh, I'm infamous for that one. So I apologize in advance. So
It's a lot of it is like I feel like I'm really ticklish, like, but not in a good way. Like it hurts. Like I'm like, oh, like just it creeps me out sometimes when people touch me too much. But anyway, I think what was the dang question? I forgot the question.
What was how do you typically show affection in your relationship and your friendship?
Okay. So I think like a lot of what you guys are saying, like I can give a lot, but to a certain extent, like I observe people a lot. So I kind of pick up on like what people like and give in that way. So they want to hang out, I'll go hang out with them. If they want you to just show up for their event, or even like the podcast, like us being friends and me showing up for the podcast. On another day, I would not do this. Like this is, me showing up as a friend and being present, just depending on what everyone needs. But in my marriage, I feel like it's a mix of everything. And we actually not too long ago finished the love language book. And so we're trying to be more intentional about how we like show up for each other. I think for me, I'm more of like a words of affirmation and acts of service. Like I really appreciate when something's done for me and I don't have to do it. Like if dinner's cooked, if it's cleaned and good to go, like that's great. I love that. That's affection, right? Oh, that's turning me on right there, And then my husband, he's very like a quality time person, I would say first, but very much so physical touch. And so like we kind of like have to find that, medium, like you were saying, Endiya, like we don't wrestle, but I might, have to pick that up. We just, we make it work and do whatever we can to meet each other halfway.
I've met both of your husbands too. I would wrestle with either one of them too. I'm just saying, might be the worst lesbian out there, but I would wrestle with either one of them. Either one of them. So y'all need to be doing that more often. I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm writing down wrestling.
I'm curious, so Whitney, you could guess what each of our love languages is. What would you guess for everyone?
I would say Dedra, physical touch. That probably. I think Elia, your primary is quality time. Endiya, I think your primary is probably, I don't know, either acts of service or receiving gifts. And then Shaquae, I think that you would probably be quality time and receiving gifts too.
Quality time, acts of service.
And acts of service. Okay.
Oh, you right.
I do like gifts. Okay.
Don't get twisted.
Right.
All right.
So, would you all rather like dap your significant other up, or would you rather give them a kiss? And for your friend, would you rather like dap them up or give them a hug?
Yeah, for me, and this has been a problem in my relationships because I have a lot of female friends. But again, the more I get to know you, the more physically affectionate I am with you. So a lot of my friends I've known for 20 plus years, since we've been in 7th grade. So when I see them, it is like a run, hug, jump, just extra shit. Like it's extra. But I was single most of my life, so I wasn't thinking about another person when all this stuff was happening. And B, I've just known you that long. It doesn't mean anything. That's just how we show affection to each other. So for friends, it's definitely my preference is to physically hug you, especially when we're in each other's presence. But if not, let's just have a long conversation on the phone where we talk, share affection, tell each other how much we love each other. And intimate relationship, I definitely appreciate a high five, but I'm more of a let's kiss, let's hug, let's, pat on the back, rub something, physically for me.
For me, I'd say I'd rather dap them both up, I'm not like a very affectionate person at all. And I'm not a kisser either. Like, I'll give you a peck here and there, but I'm not the slob you down type. I don't really want your tongue in my mouth. If that's what you like, we could do that from time to time. But I'm cool with like a little dap up. What's up, fool?
Chest bumping and shit. Hey,
our hugs are cool, but for the friend too. But I like to make up like little handshakes. I feel like I've done that with a lot of dudes I've been with, and to me that's cool. So I don't know. That's just me. What about you, Endiya?
So for me, when it comes to my friends, especially if I haven't seen you in a while, I'm coming in with a hug and showing you all the love. But sometimes I won't, if I see you every day, I'm not going to hug you every day. Like I'll say hi and we can go on like that. But yeah, I would much rather high five, dap you up. I used to make up handshakes back in the day with some of my friends. So that's cool too. But yeah, like if it's like one of them long distance friendships and I'm just seeing you, after a long time, then, I'll hug you when I see you and I'll hug you when you're leaving. But, if some of my friends that I interact with on a day-to-day basis, it's more of just no physical contact there, just because it's kind of, I guess it's just established that it's not necessarily something that I thrive on. But in my relationship, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, we do enjoy physical touch, but it does look a little bit different. So I'm the same, Aaliyah. I do not want you licking on me and don't put your mouth all over me. I don't want your tongue down my throat. Like I don't want any of that. And it's like, for me, I feel like it comes from maybe I need to change this about my thinking, but sometimes I feel like it just comes from a place where like, oh, all you want from me is sex. That's why you're coming at me like this. That's all you want, instead of just like coming to hug me and hold me and cuddle me and just check on me and feel how my day is. It typically always leads to something else. So, that's kind of a conversation for a different day. But, I've had that conversation with my husband, and I think he kind of understands that sometimes I just need you to come and hug me and kiss me and then leave me alone, So, yeah, but other than that, yeah, we do appreciate the physical touch and the wrestling around. Like I said, it just keeps things light and fun. And he's a big dude and he likes to work out and he thinks he's all strong. So I like to challenge him every now and again.
Nice. I like that.
That's funny. So for me, well, let me just tell y'all a quick story, and we ain't gonna name drop. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So I was dating someone, and he owned an establishment. And I walked into this establishment, and he just like lit up. And mind you, there was like customers and people everywhere, and he like lit up. He was really happy to see me, so he like grabs me and was like kissing me, and it was intense. I was like, it was intense, and I felt like it was like all eyes on us because it was like it was an establishment. People were in there, and I was just like, oh my God. It was the most awkward, uncomfortable thing in the world, to the point that I didn't want to go into the establishment no more. Cause I'm like, this cannot happen. Like, you cannot be kissing me with all these people in front of me. So then when I did have to start going in there, like I would go in there and I would, even though we were dating, I would make eye contact with him and I'd hit him with one of these. Like I'll walk in and do this because I'm like, how about you're not doing that no more? So anyway, I said I was to say, in romantic relationships, I do like hugs and kisses, but it depends on the circumstances. Like that was inappropriate to me. Like that was a bit much. That was way too much for me. But I do like hugs and kisses, but I'm cool with like, a dapper, what's up? Too. Like it's, I'm cool with that too. And the same with my friends. I am a hugger, but at the same time, I sometimes I call my friends bro. They're girls, but I be like, what up, bro? So I dap them, and it just kind of depends. So I'm a little bit of both. I'm really confusing for reals because people probably don't know what to do with me. Like, should we hug her? Should we dap her? We don't know. I'm cool with both. Well, actually, I'm not. I'm cool with giving both, but receiving is different. So yeah.
I would say, yeah, it all just depends. Like, I don't like public affection either. Like, I don't like I'll hold your hand and walk around the store if we have to. Like, sometimes I will grab my husband's hand, but it's not like I need to hold your hand, or like, if I want to hold your hand, don't want to hold your hand, please don't keep trying to hold my hand. Like, I want to. But I think definitely, like, when we see each other, we'll give each other a hug and a kiss, like a, quick little peck and move on. We don't spend a lot of time like deeply kissing and. Mm-mm. But mainly, you guys, I think my problem with that is like I'm a germaphobe. So like saliva and like I want to saliva all on my neck and my So that's just it. Like I think if I wasn't so crazy about germs, then I'd probably be down with it. But but otherwise, yeah, I think. Hey, babe, Otherwise, yeah, with friends, I'll give friends a hug, but not all the time. It's just kind of random. Like if I'm feeling it, I'll give you a hug. If not, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel that. All right. Well, my last question is: has any of you all's like level of affection or lack thereof caused any issues in any of your relationships or friendships? Hey, Gianni.
Hey, little baby. For me, it's caused issues in a couple different ways. So I think for me, like I grew up in a family that hugged, but like my need for affection was just higher than everybody else's in my family. So I got labeled as needy. And so I think as an adult, I've struggled with wondering if my need for affection is a need, which is fine, or is it like an overcompensating need that I'm asking my partner to fulfill for me, and figuring out the balance. And I think I'm still trying to figure out what the balance of need is. So I've had partners that they don't need affection in the same way and they don't give it in the same way. So it's a debate of, do I need to find a partner that's more affectionate, or do I need to work on being less needy, quote unquote, of that affection? So it's definitely caused discussions of, is this the right relationship for me? Am I getting what I need out of it? Or do I need to change my needs because of the person? And for me, a lot of the work has been figuring out and appreciating different ways that people demonstrate their love to me other than physical affection. So like, are they still demonstrating love? Yes, but are they not doing it the way I want? Is that my problem or is that their problem? And trying to find the balance of what that is. Are my needs getting met? Are my needs realistic? And are they realistic with the person I'm with, or are they realistic in general? So I think that's an ongoing topic in my head. And then in friendships, the lesbian world is messy as all get out, which could be anybody's world. But I've had friendships that I didn't have a good job of distinguishing the line between, are we friends? Are we dating? Are we half dating, half relationships? I treat you like a girlfriend, but we're really friends because we're not dating per se, or you may be in a relationship but you're telling me you want to date me. So I think there's been a girl messy. We can have a whole podcast on messy friendships. I had to end one recently that the girl literally said to me, I'm in love with you. I think you're in love with me. And if we don't date, we're going to be friends. So we're not going to be friends. So I ain't talked to her in 6 months. I was like, I'm currently in a relationship with somebody else. You met her. Like, no. So, so that has caused some drama in those form and fashions for me.
For me, I wouldn't say it's caused issues, but it's something that I'm aware that I'm not the most affectionate person, and it's something I'm actively working on. So, but I am very affectionate with my daughter, like I said. But once I do secure a relationship one of these days, I would like to be more affectionate with my man. I think in past relationships, guys have said I treat them like the homie. But I also strongly believe that you have to be the homie before anything else. Like, I don't want to be cuddled up all day, every day. We have to be able to like coexist as friends too. I think that's super important. And I think that's the basis of every like successful relationship too. Is like it being rooted in a friendship. Like as far as like my friends, I don't think that that's ever been an issue. Or with my family, I think they just know I'm not the most affectionate person, and they just understand that about me, and they just accept me as I am at this point.
Yeah. Dedra, you and your stories, I tell you what, we could do a whole podcast on Dedra's stories for sure.
I'm gonna write a book someday and not drop names because they get so messy. It's messy loose down, I swear.
Yeah, so I'll start with like friendships first. I haven't really had affection be an issue with any of my friendships. I think that I have known a lot of my friends for a really long time, and we have a kind of understanding of how we all operate and how we work. So there's not ever an expectation of anything really, but amongst my group of friends. In the beginning of my relationship, we definitely struggled and had some issues. And Elia, like you were saying, it's really important to be able to coexist as friends, as well as being partners. So really, it was hard finding the balance between that, because I'm like, let's just sit up on the couch, we'll kick it, talk. I mean, we'll talk for hours, but sometimes, like I said, I don't want to be touched, and I don't necessarily want to lay up and cuddle with you all night, because like it gets hot and like you're kind of heavy and this isn't cozy, and like this, I don't know how I would like people just be laid up cuddling all the time, because it's not comfortable. But so like I said, being open and just having that line of communication with my husband, and and like I said in the beginning, it was a problem, and we bumped heads a lot, and there were some issues with like insecurity, and it's like, well, if you're not coming to me for this affection, are you going somewhere else outside of the relationship for it? And really just having that understanding and talking to each other and saying, hey, I don't have an expectation of being hugged and kissed and cuddled and touched all day, every day. And I can't have you have that expectation for me to give that to you as well. So what can we do to find a happy medium to where we're both comfortable and where we're both happy and we're both working this relationship out together? And so, yeah, it took some time, but I think we got into a really good flow.
Okay, for me, it really, as far as friendships go, besides what I told you guys earlier, as far as me going MIA, sometimes that can cause problems. It hasn't really caused any problems outside of that, because I will go MIA. So I'm just even letting you guys know now, as my new friends, that I sometimes go MIA. I'm okay. I'm not mad at you, especially if you haven't done anything to me, right? Like, I'm good. But I do go MIA and I just be in my own world. So that's the only thing that has like been an issue as far as friendships go. But outside of that, it hasn't been any issues. And then romantically, I mean, I've had two guys tell me that I make them feel like the female in the relationship. I think I shared that with you guys before too. I've had two guys tell me that I make them feel like the female. So I'm kind of working on that. Like it's hard for me sometimes, because I was raised by my dad. And then I have 4 brothers, no sisters. And then I have 4 sons. And so I think that I tend to operate in my masculinity a lot. And so like I can get dressed up and I can look like a girl, but like I feel like a dude in a dress sometimes, like my inner. And so like sometimes it's kind of hard. And so I'm trying to operate more in my femininity, and I'm getting better. Like I'm getting better at it. And so it's kind of like Elia said, finding that balance. It's important to have that friendship. And so like now I'm dating somebody, and like he's like my homie. Like we're good friends. Like we laugh and talk about the craziest, wildest stuff, but we crack up. Like we have, and then we'll have like deep conversations about other crazy, wild stuff. But like we have really good conversations. But it's just we're really building that foundation based upon our friendship. And so it's like, moving forward, I think that we can always fall back on that. Because like I was even explaining to him, like when I look at all my relationships, my friendships are the ones that last everything. Like I've had this boyfriend and that boyfriend, I've been married before, but the ones that have remained consistent are my friendships. And so it's just important to just build that foundation with the friendship, with the person that you're with. So just really just trying to find that balance and being a little better, being feminine, and it's a little awkward sometimes, but I'm getting there. So, yeah.
What about you, Whitney?
Awesome. So I don't think it showed up as a problem, at least not for me, but I'm sure it has for other people. They just fizzled away, which is totally fine. But I think when it comes to like my marriage, like I said, we've recently started talking about it more, like just being more aware of the things that we enjoy and what's intimacy to the two of us. And then when it comes to friends, I think kind of I'm the same again as you, Shaquae. Like I can go missing too. And it's not that I'm not like there's a problem. It's just, yeah, it's just life. Like, especially for me, I don't know what it is, but the month of August, like I just changed mentally and just be ready to just, be in clear states and refocus, come up with some new goals or whatever it is. So sometimes I can fall off the radar for a little bit. And when people do it to me, I totally understand. Like, I try, I would only take personal if like, like I have a friend who like I don't ever really talk to, but I still refer them to them as my friend, right? But they literally only come around when they need something. So for me, it's kind of hard to like with those kind of relationships where it's like, we've been friends since like the 6th grade, but at the same time, I only hear from you when you need something. So, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I do need to get better at like cutting those relationships off. Like, even though we have been friends since 6th or 7th grade, I don't need to keep being like, we can. But then what do you say? Hey, girl, today's last day. We're going to talk. Don't hit me up anymore.
It's so hard. Friend breakups are worse than relationship
I
breakups.
think so too.
Weird.
They really are. They cut deeper. Like they really do.
They do. They do.
Why do y'all think that is?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it's the vulnerability for me. Like with my friends that I've known from 20 years, you have literally seen me at my best, worst. I mean, if you've known me that long, you've seen me when I was messy, messy, messy in the streets. And now you see me cleaned up. You know what I mean? And I don't have to put on for you. So to lose that kind of friendship or to say, I've outgrown you, because that's happened to me and a lot of my friends. Like I've changed so much that like the ways you used to serve me don't serve me anymore. And I'm meeting people. I mean, even meeting you guys has made me cut off certain relationships because what they were there for is I'm increasing the level of just intelligence, conversation type, how we support each other is less co-signing of messiness and trying to make us better. And it's hard to say that to someone without feeling like an a-hole or sounding like an a-hole, at least for me. Like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. It's just we're at a different place now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It is a lot of like not wanting to hurt people's feelings, especially when you're a good person at heart, so it's like, ugh, but yeah, I haven't got there yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it hurts more too. I agree with you, Dedra. It's like a vulnerability thing. Like I think sometimes you are just a little more vulnerable with your friends. You might share more secrets or more like of those vulnerable moments with your friend than you do with your partner. Like, dang, you was my bitch. What happened? Like you just
Right.
I never expected it to be like this. So I think it is
Yeah.
more painful. It takes a longer time to heal from, I feel like. And then
And for me, like relationships come and go, but my friendships, like when I think about my last years of life, I'm thinking about which four of my girlfriends are going to be in the nursing home with me. I'm literally not thinking about my spouse. You know what I mean? And even when I was married, I don't think about I think about my friends being with me in the end. I don't think about my one true love being with me at the end. And maybe that's my thinking and it's wrong. But so when I lose a friend that I considered like one of those people I would see me at the end with, that it breaks my heart, more so than a relationship could break my heart sometimes.
I agree. Like, yeah, men do come and go. I mean, I guess when you're married, it turns into a different thing. But
different,
I'm sure it's kind of in sometimes too, It'd always be there. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a different type of bond. So you got to really value and appreciate those friends that have been there through all stages of your life. Because I have a couple that have literally been there through all stages and they're still there. And then there's those other ones that they kind of fall off during certain stages. And the more you grow and the more you evolve, then they start to kind of trickle and fall off. But then those ones that can stick through all of it, those are the ones. And those ones are kind of, I mean, I haven't experienced that type of loss with the friendship, but I have just during my growth period, I've had some people that I didn't expect to fall off. I've had some people that have fallen off, and that hurt because it's like, I thought as I grew and I evolved, like I thought for sure you was gonna be right here with me. Like I thought, as I start to do really, really get to where I want to be, I thought for sure you were gonna be right here by my side. But it's just you kind of start to see how people are and how they feel about you. The more you grow and the more you change for the better. Not everybody likes it. A lot of people are comfortable with you being stuck, and so it's challenging sometimes when it comes to those friends. But yeah.
I 100% agree. I think I've struggled with a couple of friendships where I felt like sometimes I was just being kept around because just to make them feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
So like Dedra, like you were saying, you know, I have some people who knew me when I was at my lowest point in my life, at my roughest, at my biggest struggles. But as soon as I start to get better and as soon as my life starts to turn around and starts to clean up, all of a sudden those people are not around anymore. And so it really just makes you wonder, is like, was this really a friendship or was I just a placeholder? Or, you know, was I here, like I said, just to, you know, for somebody to make you feel better about yourself, like, okay, well, she's having these issues. At least I can say I'm doing just a little bit better than that. And, you know, so sometimes you just have to let them go and cut them off. And it does hurt because you thought that, hey, this is going to be, you know, this is my person. Like, this is the person I'm going to, you know, grow old with. And we're going to, you know, be wearing matching jackets, going to concerts and stuff or whatever. But, you know, reality changes as you get older and, you know, you develop into a new person and you find new people who fit you and who matter and who will help you continue to grow as a person instead of holding you down, you know?
Great. Well, I appreciate all of you guys coming on here. I appreciate the bond we've all created. Excited to continue to build with you ladies, even outside of ULF, because that's going to be coming to an end. But we're going to keep the chat popping. But yeah, thank y'all again for checking in or for tapping in, I'll say, on this episode. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Mommyana Podcast. Also find me on Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Always looking for guests to join us. So if you're interested, slide in them DMs or send me an email at mommyana.podcast@gmail.com. Special shout out to my brother, Derek, on the editing of this episode. He always comes through. Check him out if you're looking for a beat or if you're looking for your podcast to be edited too. You can find him at DWeatherlyBeats on IG. But we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me.
Bye.
Bye.
The Weatherly don't kill it.